The last time that Donald Trump wanted to go to the Capitol, it was to lead a violent coup against the duly elected American government. You'll remember this is when he supposedly had a tantrum in the presidential limousine. He wanted to go so badly that he got into a physical altercation with the Secret Service over it, according to testimony before the January 6th committee. Now, the Secret Service understood that sending the president to lead an armed riot would present something of a safety concern. But in some ways, more importantly, I think they also understood that they could end up in a situation where they were essentially drafted into service as the armed Praetorian Guard of the would-be coup, entering the Capitol with the duty to protect the president in defiance of the armed police officers who were defending it, gun against gun, creating a situation of unprecedented constitutional peril. Thankfully, that did not happen. The Secret Service held their ground. They didn't let him go. But now Donald Trump wants to go to the Capitol again to continue the project he started on January 6th, ending American democracy as we know it. And part of that includes undermining the Department of Justice's investigation into him, their attempt to hold him accountable to the law so he does not have to go to prison. In fact, today, he filed a motion to dismiss the January 6th case outright against him, citing presidential immunity. He is hoping this motion will make its way to the 6-3 conservative Supreme Court that he appointed 1/3 of, and that they will find a way to let him off the hook, at the very least delay things until after the election. That is the play here. But if that does not work, Donald Trump is publicly floating he could be the next Speaker of the House, after Republicans fired the last guy for the first time in American history.
A lot of people have been calling me about Speaker. All I can say is we'll do whatever's best for the country and for the Republican Party. Would you take the job? A lot of people have asked me about it. If I can help them during the process, I would do it. But we have some great people in the Republican Party that could do a great job as Speaker.
Just a few hours ago, Trump told Fox News, quote, "They have asked me if I would take it for a short period of time for the party until they come to a conclusion. I'm not doing it because I want to. Yeah, sure. I will do it if necessary, should they not be able to make their decision." I don't know. What does that mean? Who knows? Look, it goes without saying, I think, that Donald Trump as Speaker of the House, the third in line of the presidency or second in line of the presidency, would be bad for everyone, probably disastrous. It would be bad for the country, bad for American democracy, and I think outright dangerous. Becoming Speaker would not automatically absolve Trump of his criminal liability, although I think he might have some notion it will. So I sincerely hope it does not happen. The fundamental problem, of course, is that Trump, or someone like him, is what the Republican base is demanding. To some extent, MAGA voters want their party to be ungovernable. You know, a lot of this has been stoked by cynical voices in the party and the right-wing media, to be fair, people that are making a lot of money off this. But if you want a perfect illustration of this problem, let's just game out what would happen if Trump were to become Speaker. At the most basic level, it appears that though they would have to change the actual House rules. Because as of now, the House rules quite sensibly say that someone who's been indicted for a felony that carries more than 2 years in prison cannot serve in leadership. The problem is many folks in the MAGA movement want Trump for Speaker, not in spite of his indictments, but because of them. Because Trump matters to them in as much as he can enrage the people they don't like and, crucially, vandalize, desecrate, and destroy the institutions they have come to despise.
The best thing we could do right now is have President Trump on an interim basis return to the nation's capital, walk in to the sanctuary of Nancy Pelosi. Think about it for a second. How would the established order accept that?
That's what he's got for you folks, that dude, in his 2 shirts and his 4-hour live stream every day, awaiting possibly going to prison. Remember, there were people that invaded the Capitol and actually defecated in the halls? Like, basically, that's the selling point here. Is that a vision of what it would be a good life would look like, a good society, a good government? No, that's the vision. That's it. That's what they got. They're not trying to hide their motivations here. There's a new poll out today that provides a really incredible case study and a sort of study in contrast between that vision, the Steve Bannon vision articulated there, and the Democratic Party and its base as to how the two parties, both in leadership and among the base, approach this same issue. Okay? So as you've no doubt heard, and has been covered on this program and many others on this network, Democratic Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey was indicted on federal charges last month. In a stunningly detailed indictment, he's been accused of taking bribes to abuse his position as chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and provide special favors to the government of Egypt. Now, Senator Menendez has denied the charges. He says he will vigorously mount a defense. And we should note, the last time he was indicted by the Department of Justice, they did fail to secure conviction. So, that's a good thing to know. And of course, the senator is due the presumption of innocence in a court of law, like all American citizens protected by the Constitution. But the presumption of innocence, it doesn't provide some magical immunity in the court of public opinion. People are allowed to form opinions about you, especially when you are a sitting politician. You can't just say, well, due process. And you can see that in the way the Democratic Party has responded to, again, that very damning indictment of Senator Menendez. At least 24 Democratic senators have called on Menendez to resign, including Cory Booker, junior Democrat from New Jersey. Phil Murphy, state's Democratic governor, has also said Menendez needs to go. And then today we got this, which is, to me, fascinating. It says a lot, okay? We have the first look at what Democratic primary voters think, basically the Democratic base. Guess what? Unlike in the Republican Party, the indictment has not helped Robert Menendez. In fact, the indictment has done what you would expect in a normal environment. Menendez is losing badly. He's polling at 5%. That's the sitting incumbent Democratic senator. He's polling at 5% in the three-way race. Andy Kim, who's thrown his hat into the ring as a Democratic congressman in New Jersey, has 42%. And again, that's just based on the news. Sitting senator, indictment, Democratic Party leadership says the guy's got to go. That's how Democratic base voters respond. But that's just one of the two gravitational fields that exist in the physics of American politics at the moment. There are two different gravitational fields that exist. There is one where you get indicted and everything pulls towards your resignation. Your party calls for you to resign, voters abandon you. Then there's another. You get indicted on 91 charges in 4 jurisdictions, and the party pushes you towards leadership and increased popularity. Your poll numbers go up. Only that, but in addition to supporting you for president, the party encourages you to run for House of Representatives in the interim. Run the House of Representatives. And all of this, ultimately, in furtherance of the vile political project you began when you tried to overthrow American democracy.